Good afternoon, everybody, or maybe good morning to a lot of countries. I think to Argentina, to Brazil, to Tunisia, I saw. My name is Van Balensiefer, and I'm Managing Director in FAWEMA in Engelskirchen here in Germany, and we are part of the packaging group. Welcome to the, let's say, second FAWEMA talk. And we would like to present today a new roadstock machine which we created here in the company. On my right hand side you see a complete new bag forming section, what is completely servo driven. On my left hand side here there is a very established FAWEMA filling and settling and filling system which we have over 250 times in the world market. My colleagues, Tony Marlow and Mr. Anton Naumov, they will show you later on, first of all, the machine in a non-running condition. And we will go with the camera to the certain point of the machine where you can see the specialties, the new stuff. Later on, my colleagues will run the machine for you with a certain flour product in a 2-pound bag. Some organizational issues. So maybe you could switch off your microphone, that would be good, and maybe also your cameras. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to write the questions in the chat, and our colleagues will gather these questions, and I will try to answer this after the show and after running the machine. We will then send you a link next week and also the answers to your questions to your email addresses. Or you can also log in into our video portal where you can find also the video of the session. Now I would like to hand over to Mr. Tony Marlow. Tony is sitting in the US, sitting in the UK. He's responsible for as a sales manager for the UK and also for Scandinavia. And he will, together with Mr. Naumov, will demonstrate the machine now for you. Thank you, and we'll see you later on.
Hello, everybody. Greetings from the United Kingdom. I would like to introduce myself first. So I'm Tony Marlow. As Frank mentioned, I look after sales in Scandinavia and also in the UK. And I represent not only FAWEMA, but also our group brands WOLF and HDG. So this is the FA8000. This is FAWEMA's eye output machine for high volume production. And the great thing about this machine is its versatility. I'll just give you a little bit of geography of the machine first. So as Frank mentioned, on the far side there, on the left of the view, you can see the paper unwind system and the paper management system. And into the corner is the mandrel forming module. And along the right hand side is the filling and the settling and the closing system. So this is a machine that can handle bags up to 2.5 kilograms, and it can output bags up to 110 bags per minute. So now we will go and take a look at the paper system. So here you can see the unwind for the machine. It's a very quick and easy system to change the reel. It will take reels that are 450 millimeters wide by 1.2 meters in diameter. And you can see there the rams and the operations for lowering the reel and changing it. Because the paper feed system is obviously we have an AC motor there unwinding, but the paper drive system itself into the mandrel is servo driven. So the machine pretty much takes care of itself after a reel change in terms of the tensioning, etc. If you look to the left, you can see a glue melter. This is for then, after we've unwound the film, for applying hot melt glue in strategic positions to give us a dust type top closure on the bag. So there with the camera, you can see also the jetting system just sitting above the reel. Now, if we apply hot melt glue in this way, we also then need to dry it and cool it before we do the next operations of the bag. So the next section of the machine is a catenary section where we dry the glue and cool it. But also, we need to manage the tension from the unwind and the servo drive pull at the other end into the mandrel. So we need this catenary section and the dancing arm rollers there to balance that tension out. From the tensioning system, we feed the paper up onto the machine table. And one of the first operations we then do is to make cuts into the paper that will become the minor and major flaps of the end closures. So we apply those cuts and we continue to feed the paper through to the next stage of the gluing system. So this glue here now is a cold wet glue, and we apply this with blades. And this glue will then make the longitudinal seam and also the major glue points for the end closures. And you can see under the ultraviolet light there, the gluing positions at the edge of the paper and also the stripes that make the end closures. So this glued paper is now fed through to the mandrel. It's all fully electronic. And when we get to the mandrel, we feed the paper into the first station and we cut the paper. Then we drive the paper up and around the mandrel arm. Simultaneously, there's a servo-driven tucker plates sitting above that will complete the folding. The mandrel arm will now rotate in indexing around the turret system, and in each station we'll do different features, like we'll apply heat to reheat the glue and we'll apply compression to make sure that we have a good seam. Now, a key point here about the mandrel arms is that we have the ability, the flexibility here to be able to change them. So you can actually see closer in that we have the quick release kiblocks, where we're able to release the mandrel arm quite quickly and exchange it reliably and repeatably. So this is a real neat feature that we can do this changeover on the mandrel. So the next part of the mandrel system, a great fact about it is its clean design. So it's fully electronically driven. So each axis has a motor and that's it. So all the servo motors are under the bed there. There's no complicated mechanics. It's nice and clean to operate. There's very little to maintain, and there's certainly no oil or lubrication in mechanisms that can contaminate your products. So from the mandrel there, we're rotating and we completing the bag construction, and we then have to convert the motion from the horizontal mandrel to the vertical so that we can fill the bag. So we feed the bag into what we affectionately call the Sputnik. This is a servo-driven rotating receptacle which will receive the bag. It will rotate it then so that the bag is positioned vertically and can drop down into the chamber system. Now, also on the Sputnik, we have a separate station with an exhaust port where we can extract any badly formed bags during the setting up operation. So the receptacle would deposit the bags then vertically now into a reciprocating mechanism. And we've been making bags effectively on the mandrel, 1 per cycle. Now for the filling, we need 3 bags per cycle. So this reciprocating feeder mechanism will create the group of 3 bags. So it will take the bags backwards and forwards from the Sputnik to the chamber system. Once we've taken the bags, either we present them to the filling system. Now this particular unit is equipped with 2 fillers, and we do a 2-stage fill. So we fill 50% of the product from feeder number 1 and 50% of the product from feeder number 2. The reason we do this part fill is it also enables us to part settle in between the fillers. And this then, with this settling and the 2-stage fill, we can often, in combination with our settling track, then reduce the bag heights from what you might be experiencing at the moment. So we fill from auger number 1, and then we vibrate the bag with some dust extraction before filling from auger number 2. Now, a key element of FAWEMA technology is that we can find a filling strategy to suit all of your products. And we can also integrate here some load cells and use the second auger as just as a top up for really precise, accurate bag weights. The actual chamber system itself, if you're familiar with a FAWEMA FA217, then you'll be familiar with this technology. So it's fairly standard, robust technology, which is on 250 plus machines. We fully control the bag shape during the filling operation, during the settling, and during the closing operation to give you a nice brick pack. So along here now we have the settling stations, and then we reach this mechanism, which is an optional mechanism, which is particularly suited to flake or granular or fluffy products. So this is a mechanical tamper. It's servo driven, but it will drive into the bag and just provide some extra security for the product compression to a fixed register. Additionally, in this station, we can, as an alternative, if you're running real heavy gauge papers, we can use a scoring system to pre-make the gusset fold that we'll then fold later on. So now we will transfer the bag to the pre-fold fingers. Again, this is a really reliable FAWEMA piece of technology. It's relatively standard. We've made a lot of these units, and it's reliable. The fingers will come in, grab the inside, grab the bag, and form the top gusset and pinch fold before passing to the trimming station. The trimming station. So at this stage, we've made a filled bag. We now want to square cut the top of the bag, just trim it so it's square to the bottom of the bag. So when we do the final folding, we make a nice clean fold and we have a nice square bag. But also an important feature of the trimming station is that we have some heaters in there, and we reheat the glue that's been applied earlier on in the process to give the dust tight top. So that will reheat the glue and set it for that purpose. After the trimming section, we have the folding section. This again is servo driven and it's reliable FAWEMA technology. All of these closing modules can be exchanged for different types. So we can do a fully folded bag, or we could do a gable top bag, for example. This one will fold, and then we'll use hot melt glue just to secure the fold before the bag exits the machine. So coming out of this machine now, we will have great looking, solid, compacted brick bags, which are perfect for downstream aggregation and packing. Just at the outfeed of the machine, we also have a check weigher. The check weigher will be fully integrated with the FAWEMA filling system to ensure that we manage any variation in trend on the weights. So we work seamlessly with that. Further downstream, we can complement the supply of the filling equipment with also the aggregation and shrink wrapping equipment, so that the finished product is good to go straight to a palletizer. So we take the bags in, we aggregate them into a collation, and then we'll overwrap with shrink film.
Very good, Tony. Thank you very much. And now we will ask our technicians, to start the machine to see a little run of the whole system. And also Mr. Naumov is going again with the camera through the machine, that you can see also the machine in the running motion.
So just while the guys start the machine, I'd just like to point out a few other things. The clean design of this system, you can see it's got good clean lines. There's not a lot of mechanics in the machine. It's fully electronic. So it's nice and easy to clean and work with. You can see the guards, we can open them, and we've got a good clear area. The HMI system there, you can see when the operator started the machine, we've got a nice clear screen. It's a very intuitive system, neatly laid out controls. It gives you all the data that you need to successfully operate the machine. I think now the paper will be feeding, so you will be able to see the paper pulling off. So there is the paper discharging, unwinding through the hot melt for the dust tight top, through the tensioning system, through the slitting, and then to the second stage of the glue system, the cold glue. And then we feed in the cut-off piece into the mandrel. You can see that there, the glue application through the UV light, and then wrapping around the mandrel arms, circling around each stage a different function before we then transfer it with the shuttle to the Sputnik. And now you can see the machine has increased in speed. As mentioned, that this is set up for £2 or 1 kilo, and we can achieve 110 bags per minute. Then the Sputnik transfer mechanism. Hopefully the bags will pass through that shortly. There we go. And then we're creating the groupings of 3 bags using the reciprocating transfer shuttle and to the filler. I didn't mention before as well, the fillers is again a trusted FAWEMA design. They're very easy to access, easy to clean, and easy to change the screws. And of course, naturally, we give very precise dosages. Then you can see the first stage there of part compaction. So the vibration of the bags in between the 2 fillers and the dust extraction over them. And then we reach the second filler. So this one is set up approximately on a 50-50 split. And then the remaining of the transfer system. So we've got hold of that bag on 4 sides. We're keeping its shape. We're driving the air out through the top. Have some dust extraction. And there you can see the mechanical tamp working. And the pre-fold fingers forming the first stage of the folding, closing the gussets. Then to the bag trimming, and we'll be reheating here as well for the dust tight closure. And then the final folding. And what we will have from this machine are perfectly formed, perfectly compacted bags, bricks. And that's really at the heart of the FAWEMA solution, because the end goal with this is to have a perfectly formed pack that you can safely aggregate and pack without any worries downstream. Can go straight to the pallet. So here we have the collator making the groupings. And then we push through the film. The jaw comes down to close the film around the packs and away then through the heat tunnel just to shrink that film down. We have a nice pack ready for the pallet.
Yeah, very good, I would say. Thank you, Tony, also for this explanation. I would say we can stop the machine. I would say we can stop the machine. Okay, now it's getting better, you know, from the noise point of view. As I said before, you know, we prepared a little, you know, the questions, what you are asking for. And the first one, what I would like to answer is the question, you know, why are you doing this dust-free bags and what is the concept behind it? As Tony explained before, we have 2 points of the section of dust-free bags. It's one, you know, it's a bottom part here, and one is the top part here. So if you see, if you run pre-made paper bags so far, you see always, you know, product coming out of the bottom part. We designed the glue section different of the cold glue, so in order to have that done better than before. The second one is the top here, and as Tony explained also, we are using here a hot melt, you know, to bring it on top of the bag to close it later on in the filling section. I would show you the top part here. Maybe you come here. So you can see this is unfolded now, and you know, you can easily peel this off and use it in your kitchen without destroying the paper bag. And the question, you know, people are always asking us is, why are you doing these dust-free bags? You know, one thing is also it gives you as a customer a different argument in the conversation with your customer, saying, you know, I have an extra feature with the machine, what we can supply. So, and most of, you know, a lot of customers, they want some business with that features against other competitions. The next question was asked was, you know, what's going on with changeover times? As Tony explained also before, we are able, you know, to change over different formats. On this equipment here, we have the possibility of 2 pound and 5 pounds. You see here now the 2 pound bags, and we are able to change over from 2 to 5 pounds in about 4 hours. And I will show you the features. What you need to change is, here is one part. This is from the bag forming system. You know, nice setup and prepared. So this is the slitting units, the units for forming the bags, and so on. Here on this side, you see the forming parts of the closing systems. So, and we are able to do this in around 4 hours. One feature, maybe Mr. Naumoff, we can go over there. One feature is also important because you have to position your paper system always to a certain position. And here we create something very easy. You know, we can unlock the system, and with this lever here, we can put it in one or the other position very easily. So what we did is, you know, for you, a very easy changeover, what we have to train, and why we are supplying also videos and tutorials to do so. But in our opinion, it is very suitable also to run 2 product sizes on the Mandarin machine. And what we explained also before is that we are able, this is not on the machine right now here, we could also implement a magazine here that you can run the different sizes for different campaigns for low runs also for your customers. The last question is, you know, what highlights is really on this machine? You know, repeat the highlights shortly again. One highlight certainly is the servo-driven and, you know, maintenance, less maintenance section of the machine itself. If you run old equipment like the old Hesse machine, you have the hazard of the oil bath and all that stuff, and this is not here anymore. That is one example. One feature is for sure the dust type closure with the hot melt application here. The other one I named before is the possibility to have the magazine here. The perfect settling of the equipment, of the bags. And one example or one feature is also important. If you see the normal roll stock machines, you know, you are running one bag at a time, you know, 110, 120 cycles per minute. Here, you move the chain every other 3 bags only. And you can imagine on maintenance what it could be in the future. The rest of the machine, this is a big feature, is this is bulletproofed. We have spare parts around the world. We have services around the world for this section for the machine too. And this you can, you can prove maybe also in your factory at the moment. So I would like to thank you for the attention. So this was our second FAWEMA talk. We did one in the morning. We wish you a good day, a good weekend, and stay healthy. Thank you very much.